Welcome to Lesson 3 of the eSkillful Means program. It's important to keep studying because the materials that you're reading are intended to gradually enter your mind and enter your senses, enter your energy. So it's not like you're going to be the same person who is applying skillful means and you don't change in the process. Of course you are. Not that there's anything wrong with you, but rather there's so many aspects of your being that didn't have the chance to come forth, didn't have the chance to participate, as if some of the talents are hidden or poorly developed. In Lesson 3, we're going to go to work. Of course, the previous lessons already had lots of suggestions on how you could reduce your stress levels, but now we're going to go to work. And in the lesson you will find that there's a couple of ways to actually learn skillful means, and this one in Lesson 3 we're introducing you the first method. Underneath is the idea of mindfulness. If you Google the word mindfulness, you get gazillions of entries. Mindfulness is used a lot. The example that's given by Tartang Tulku Rinpoche is actually a very easy one to relate to. It's about the kid that is making a sandcastle, is very focused on making it right and nice, not aware of the upcoming tide. So this kid is not mindful that the water will get higher and wash away the castle. That's mindfulness. So mindfulness is not merely, oh, I'm aware of this and I'm aware of that. It is being in contact with what's happening. So a good way to start mindfulness is to ask, what's happening? And to be in contact with that. In the example of the little kid at the beach, of course he's in contact with the sand and the castle, the little spade he's using and maybe playing with other kids, so he's aware of that, but also aware of the water, the ocean, the waves that will come in and wash it away. So we're beginning to develop awareness, which will be discussed later in Lesson 5. But for now it's mindfulness. And mindfulness has a process of how to start it. So the word mindfulness traditionally means to remain in contact with, to not forget. So if you say, are you mindful of your mother living far away, or are you mindful of your child? That means you remain in contact. You don't start thinking about it, says, oh yeah, I'm mindful of them. No, that's not mindful, that's thinking about them. Mindful means that you at all times remain in contact with what's happening. So while you work to remain in contact, not only with the actual things that you're doing, but everything that is part of that as well. Mindfulness is difficult because it requires an eye for detail and an eye for overview. Some people are good in details, they will make a beautiful little castle, and some people may be good in overview and remain in contact with the water of the ocean coming in. But they're not very good in detail and they're quick maybe and rush with the castle. So you want to be mindful in detail and more globally. So what's happening when you become mindful is you are in contact with what's going on. You can always ask yourself, what's happening? Focus on details that are happening and more broad issues. And then to not forget. So mindfulness is not observing, witnessing, that's part of it. But it's only intended for you to remain in contact with, not to lose that contact. So one way of working with skillful means is the so-called 3-step process. It says, be aware of your strengths and weaknesses. And that's difficult. There are people who say, oh, you should only be aware of your strength and apply your strength, and then everything else will be okay. And there are people who say, well, what is wrong? Always watch for what is wrong. That's not right either. You want to become aware of strengths and weaknesses because the weaknesses are often dormant, latent talents. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a flaw in your personality or your character. Not at all. It means something is ignored or forgotten. And even becoming aware of it and acknowledging it, it will bring that quality into your awareness. Strength and weakness is actually a mindfulness training. What is interesting about the three-step process is once you're aware of the weaknesses and strength, areas to develop, then comes the next step, which is very interesting. You don't do anything yet. You basically make a firm resolve within. You don't have to know how you're going to do it. Just you decide to do something about it. I want to improve on. I want to strengthen. I don't know how to do this, but it's important, and I decide, I firmly resolve to make this better. In your firm resolve, already the energies and the knowledge of how to do that begin to come to the foreground, because your resolve invites those qualities to come forth. And then you find yourself acting differently. You see, Skillful Means is a teaching. It's not a set of techniques that you apply and see if they work. So if you face the strengths and weaknesses, and if you say to yourself, I want to make this better, I firmly resolve to make this part better, to improve on it, it will start to happen. And then the third step is that you, in your actions, you share it with others. You don't hold it back. You don't hold it privately, just for yourself. And you don't teach others necessarily, but it's more like you display it. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. In this lesson, we will focus on developing mindfulness, and we do it through learning to focus. Focusing is not a narrowing down, but a staying with, to remain in contact, to begin to focus on what you're doing. Never come from the perspective that you're lacking something or that you're wrong or something is missing, but something that you like to learn. That's your power. I would really like to learn this. You skip the whole step of I'm not good at this or bad at this and I can never learn this. I would like to learn this. I want to learn this. And keep practicing the suggestions from the previous lessons. Be around people who enjoy focusing, who enjoy working, who enjoy learning. So good luck with your practice and study, and let Skillful Means come to you, and gradually it will come out of you.